Welcome to this walkthrough tutorial for entering your grades in Skyward. Sign into your Educator Access Plus account, Teacher Access, My Gradebook, and one of your courses. From this screen, do not be alarmed if you see a different set of colors for purposes of this training. Depending on the subject you teach, your colors are going to be different. For this subject, they also are only reporting 2 domains for trimester 1. So that is why they only have 2. You may see 3 or you may see 1. It just depends on the department that you are teaching and reporting for. So if you want to know what your department or your class is reporting for trimester 1 and want to make sure, you can hover over that column and you can see this is for literature and also for writing and language. The next set of columns are going to be for learning habits. So I have respect and accepting, those combined learning habits and skills, and also ready and ownership is where we're going to be entering the grades there. So let's start with our content area. So I can click in the box next to one of the students and I can see, I had some checks there. I can click right in the box and enter any of the numbers manually. So I'll use my numbers and my arrows, and I can enter grades this way, or I can use the mass assign and click the drop down arrow, and I can select from this, and then it will ask me, do I want to default all these blank grades to 3, and I can select yes or okay. Now from here, it's very easy for me to also go into those boxes, click delete, and make any changes necessary that I need to if I wanted to start with a mass assign to make it easier for me. On grade marks, if you want to also select that, you can see that these are the grade marks that will be available to you to enter for this domain, including an incomplete. Please follow the instructions given by T&L that will let you know if you need to provide an incomplete for a student. If you made any modifications or gave that student any modifications for this trimester and you want to select that on their report card, you would click the checkbox here, and that is going to show up on the report card next to the numeral as a capital M. So this student receive a 3M, this student receive a 2M if you were giving them any modifications. So next, to save this, you can do that 2 ways. You can click save and it will take you back to that original screen in your gradebook, or you can click next and it's going to take us to the very next domain. Either way, it's going to say if you need to make those changes, they haven't been saved, and to click OK. So I'm going to click OK, and now I can start entering in for this domain. So I'm going to follow this by just doing a mass assign to start with, and I'm going to assign everybody to set all those blank grades to a 2, select OK, and then I'm going to click my cursor in the box, click delete, and then start making a few adjustments just to show you that that can be done. Okay, now that I'm done with that, I'm going to click save. And now I'm back at this main gradebook screen. So now what I'm going to do is this last column here that's in blue is going to be where I'm going to enter the letter grades. So again, I repeat those steps. I'm going to click in the box. And what I like about this is that any of the domains that you have, if it's either 1 or if you have 1 to 4 different domains that you're going to be reporting for whatever trimester you're in, they're going to show up here. So then you'll be able to look at this and then follow that matrix that was given by T&L to determine what are you going to give that student as a letter grade. So the grade marks here that are going to be available for me to put in here would show up like this. And then I can also then use this matrix to determine what I'm going to give them. So if this student had a 3 and a 2, according to the matrix, then they would be receiving a B for this. If I go to the next student, these students receive 2 3s. According to the matrix, they would receive a letter grade of an A. So a 3 and a 2, they would receive a B. Now, if you have more than 1 or 2 domains, and you're not quite sure how that is going to be determined, make sure you might want to do the calculations there so that you can make sure that they're falling into that numbered calculation to decide what letter grade a student is going to be receiving. So once you have mass assigned all of the grades, I'm just going to give everyone a grade to say that there's something here. I'm going to click Save. And now I will see that I have the letter grades here, and I will also have the numbers for the domains are also present. Now let's move on to the learning habits. So for this area, you can see that the main column here is shaded because we are not giving a letter grade or anything. We're not reporting anything other than the 4, 3, 2, 1 for these two sets of skills. So I follow the same process. I'm going to start here, click in the box for respect and accepting. I'm going to decide everybody is receiving a 3. Blank all grades are going to be made into a 3. If I need to make any adjustments, I can do that here. Click in the box and use my arrow keys to make changes and then save. So I'm going to click next though, and then OK to go to the next learning habit. Follow the same process. I'm going to mass assign and then make adjustments. I prefer using the mass assign. I just think it's easier, and depending on how you are going to be reporting your grades, you may be starting off with all 2s or all 4s or so forth. It just depends what you like to do, but that is a teacher choice. So once I make that decision, I can then go back in easily and make adjustments as I see fit. Now I'm going to click Save, and now I can see that for this class, all of my learning habits are completed, all of my skills, my domains, are all completed, and my letter grades are completed. Okay, now that I'm done with that, I can then go to comments. So I'm going to click comments, and for trimester 1, so you're going to see where those letter grades are. And on the report card though, the numbers are going to show up for the domains that you have. So this should look very similar as you've had in the past. But if not, you are now going to have 3 comment code areas that you can assign, and you also have a free form section that you can click in the box and enter any information that you want here. Okay. Now, the comment codes have been updated. So if you are used to using comment codes in the past, please make sure that you are looking at the comment codes because some of those codes may have changed. So double check that and see what you have used before, and there may have been some things that have been added, deleted, or combined, but we needed to update these comment codes. So if, let's say for instance, I want to use the comment code for outstanding problem solving abilities in 07, if I want everybody to receive that comment code, I can assign it here and put 07. If I want to just give this first student that code, then I can give 07. Maybe if I want the next student to get 07 and so forth. So I'm going to decide which codes I want to use. If you're not using any, that's okay. And if you want to just go ahead and use the free form by itself and enter in whatever you want to on your own, you can do so. But you can also do this mass assign the same way and make all the blank comments for whatever you want all of the students to receive, and it will put it in all at once. Okay, so once you are completed with that, you can then look at what you have here. You can click Save, and if you wanted to go back, you can see that they will now be in green and say they're good to go. So green is good. So now I would have all of my comments completed for my report card. And the last step that we're going to do is to post. So for the most part, these grades are completed and they are going to go to the report card. So the last step though would be going to posting status for trimester 1. And this part is new, where you're going to then click this box and check for posting is completed. So once you've checked that box, that means that mark all as completed. you go to this box. I'm not going to do it here because I don't want to mess up this teacher's gradebook, but you would be posting complete, and now those grades will be done. If you go back and need to make any changes and you start receiving a notification that says, hey, like this, a warning, you may have checked the grade period 1 as ready. Changes that you make after this are not going to be there. So what you need to make sure you do is go back to the posting status, uncheck that box, and then if you find, oh, I needed to make an adjustment, you can go back and then do so, and you see that that red warning alert is no longer there. So you'd click save, say I'm done, trimester 1, and I can then click posting is complete. You would then repeat these steps for each one of your classes that you had, just as you did for the one I just did. So you'd go ahead and you are going to do the columns for the domains and the skills, do the letter grades. You're then also going to do the learning habits, go in and complete your comments, posting status, and for trimester 1, and you are complete.